beautiful thing about Carnival, is that we can all return to being children. No one's going to bat an eyelid. Actually, it's often the adults who are more enthusiastic about Carnival festivities in Italy than the children. Okay, so let's put the bubbles away and let's talk about another recipe which is very classic, actually probably one of the most classic recipes, and the first thing you'll see in bakeries that make you realise that Carnival is definitely on its way. So I'm talking about a sweet, it's like a biscuit, like a pastry, that has over 10 different names depending where you come from in Italy. So recently I put a question out there, where do you live and what are these called? And I published the photograph. Would you believe 14 different names came back for these things? So you may know them as chiacchiere, you may know them as crostoli, you may know them as frappe, sfrappole, galani, lattughe, cenci, cencetti. Whatever you want to call them, there is no denying that they are delicious, very easy to make. And for me, it's like returning to my childhood with my Italian nonna. I remember calling them crostoli, but in Rome, they're frappe. So if I call them chiacchiere or crostole or frappe, you know that I'm still talking about the same thing. Okay, so I have already sifted this flour. So in here I have 200 grams of self-raising flour and 300 grams of plain flour. That goes into our bowl, our mixing bowl. Into that we're going to add 3 eggs, 3 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk, zest of 1 lemon and 80 grams of sugar. We're also going to add a pinch of salt and a very special ingredient, grappa. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of this. If you don't have grappa at home, any liqueur, but even if you left it out, it wouldn't be so tragic. So I'm going to put in 2 very generous tablespoons. Okay. Then we're going to add 50 grams of butter cut into cubes in room temperature. So just start adding that. I can't tell you, the smell of grappa is hitting me. Never really been a fan of liqueur. Okay, so we're going to add the butter and we're basically just going to keep mixing that until a dough forms. Okay, so at this point, we can stop that and the rest we're going to do by hand. Okay, so we're just going to work the dough and you're just going to knead it until it's nice and smooth. Now, once upon a time, nonnas would have done all this by hand. They wouldn't have mixed their dough in an electric mixer. I sometimes like to be lazy or take shortcuts. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to close it in some plastic wrap and pop that in the fridge for half an hour. Okay, I've taken some of the dough out of the fridge. I have attached my pasta machine to my mixer. What we want to do is lightly floured board again. I'm going to just help a little bit more and roll it out a little bit. So I'm going to start on number 1. And I'm going to do that a few times until I'm actually happy with the dough that's coming out the other end. A little bit of flour, but not much. Okay, so that I have put through number 1 and I've continued on number 1 until I'm happy with how my dough looks. And we're going to keep going up until we get to the thinness of number 5. And you only need to go through once on each number. What I might do is divide this in half already. Okay, up to number 4. And then last number 5. Okay, now you'll either find them sliced in like a rectangle, and then you'll find 2 holes cut into them like this, and then they're fried like that. I like to do them a bit differently, and they're actually how my grandmother used to do them. I'm going to use this to help me today. This is actually a utensil that I have from my cake decorating days, and it's going to ensure that all my crostoli, but it's going to ensure that they're all exactly the same width. So what we do is we go and we make strips. This could be smooth or zigzag, it doesn't really matter. We go and we make a line and we cut in the middle. And this is the important part. Take it in your hand, take up the end and turn it inside itself. And then you've got, that's the classic Chiacchiere shape. Now it's also a good idea to let these rest for a few minutes before you fry them. So what I like to do is make up all the dough, or maybe half at a time, let them rest and then fry them in 2 separate batches. And you can do 3 or 4 at the same time. You'll see they come up to the surface, and what you want to do is you want to also turn them over. We want them to be golden brown, lightly golden brown. They're all different in their own way. Okay, so once we've finished frying all of our crostoli, what I like to do then, put them all out on a tray, put them in a single layer, and then we icing sugar, sprinkle it on a layer at a time. And then what you do is you put them away, and then in your container, and when you have people over, if you want to serve them, you put them on the tray and you just give them an extra sprinkling of sugar, just to make sure that they've all got that lovely sugar on. So you can imagine they're just sweet, crunchy, fried. You can't actually tell that they're fried, I'll be honest, once you're eating these. There is another variety. They can actually be cooked in the oven as well. But let's be honest, I think you'll agree with me when you think they're much more delicious this way. Now, just for experimentation purposes, I have to see that they're cooked okay. Oh, okay, so that's how they should be. Completely, as we'd say in Italian, friabile, crunchy, sweet, and delicious. Drag me away because it really will be hard to stop eating at just one. I actually have a party to go to. Carnival is full of parties day and night. So what's perfect is to put these into a really colourful container like this, which goes together with all the other colours of Carnival. And I probably haven't prepared enough, but these rest I'll keep for myself, and these I'll take to the party.